I don't like food, I love it.
The Food Network has been both a blessing and a curse. You get to experience all these great meals, but you struggle to cook most of them.
It's so unfair.
That being said, watching never hurt anyone. So let's tune in to the top 10 best Food Network TV shows ever. Beat Bobby Flay. Bobby Flay is a Food Network veteran who has had a number of shows, all of which have been some of the best shows on the Food Network. He taught us how to grill with Boy Meets Grill and barbecue with Bobby Flay.
You did get the Evite to my barbecue.
He has hosted a plethora of shows and also taught fans the key to making some super tasty Mexican and Southwestern cuisine.
Oh, Mexican food! My favorite!
Beat Bobby Flay is another popular hit in which the chef is set up by friends and family to battle it out with other chefs. The twist is that Bobby is always at a disadvantage. The chef he is challenging gets to make their signature dish, and Bobby has to create his own version of that same signature dish. Bobby may be at a disadvantage, but more often than not, he rises above and beyond and beats the competing chefs at their own game.
He's so talented.
One of the things that makes this show so entertaining is the fact that the judges for the cooking round and the chefs who go up against Bobby roast him the entire time he's cooking.
Boom. Roasted.
Because they are his friends and family, it is mostly lighthearted and big on the laughs. They tell the jokes that no one would know unless they have known Bobby for a long time. There is a new host almost every episode, and the judges are usually new, with a few fan favorites that make repeat appearances. It's worth a watch, and if you're in luck, this show is usually playing back-to-back in the evenings.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Worst cooks in America. If you ever feel down about your lack of skills in the kitchen, you're not alone. There are so many people around the world who don't know how to cook.
I can't cook, can I?
Thankfully, Food Network has rounded up the majority of these people and put them on one show. Worst Cooks in America exposes all the bad cooks out there. These are the people who don't know one single thing about a kitchen, if they can even find it to begin with.
You have no power here.
You have heard the jokes about people not even knowing how to boil water. Well, the contestants on this show are those people. Literally, every season of the show has that one person who has to be taught how to boil water. They don't even know what a boiling pot of water looks like.
Oh, absolutely helpless!
This show is more than meets the eye. Yeah, we get a few laughs and find it beyond hilarious that these contestants don't know how to make something that so many people find easy to make. That being said, the judges and the host, who have ranged over the years from Chef Ann Burrell, Bobby Flay, Robert Irvine, Tyler Florence, and others, are all so supportive. They truly want to teach the contestants the beauty of knowing how to cook. They mentor them in a sense and don't just make it all about the show. Not many shows can say that their judges put that much care into the contestants. They say food brings people together, but programs like this show just how true that is. Best Baker in America.
Cake! Everybody loves cakes. Cakes have layers.
On the complete opposite spectrum of worst cooks in America, we have best bakers in America. Not only can these people bake, but they are the top bakers in the country, at least during their time on the show.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
It's a challenge-based show where the contestants have to complete baking tasks using particular ingredients. There is also a time limit on the challenges. When the bakers are done creating, the mouths of the judges are drooling.
Can we just eat?
And the at-home audience probably is as well. To make things even better, the show is hosted by a fellow Food Network competition winner, Jason Smith. He won Food Network Star, but really, it was his personality that won the hearts of the show's fans. He is bubbly, makes delicious food, and he is a fun host. Jason knows how to interact with the contestants because he can relate, as he, at one point, was in the same situation.
Been there, done that.
Fortunately, he and the judges get to try good food that they know is cooked all the way through. Best Baker in America is moving on to its 4th season, and fans of the show can't wait to see what the next batch of bakers come up with. It's enough to get your own creative baking juices flowing. Guy's Grocery Games.
I took you shopping all the time!
Guy Fieri popped up on the Food Network with a splash. Actually, more like a tidal wave.
Cannonball!
He was loud, wasn't ashamed to take big bites, and ate all the fried food that a fried food lover could want. Guy became so popular that he basically created his own brand, and he has hosted a number of his own shows before and after Guy's Grocery Games. Guy's first appearance on the network was when he won Season 2 of Food Network Star. From there, he has gone on to achieve the ultimate Food Network fame.
Woohoo! I'm famous again!
His other shows include Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives, Guy's Big Bite, Guy's Family Cruise, and Guy and Hunter's European Vacation, where he and his son sampled some great eats across the pond. Guy has also written a few books, obviously about food.
Obviously.
However, one of his most entertaining shows is Guy's Grocery Games. This show challenges chefs to cook not only under a time constraint, but without always having the ideal ingredients. They end up coming up with some pretty amazing flavors, and the dishes look beautiful. Guy hosts the show and has one new and one returning guest each time. There is also a cash prize that is not easy to win. The last cook standing has a chance to win up to $20,000 if they can find the items on the list in the grocery store.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
It's a mad dash to try and win the max amount. More than a few of the contestants crash and burn. The best thing I ever ate. The best thing I ever ate is the ultimate foodie's dream. Not only do a variety of different people make appearances, they also talk about food that looks so succulent and delicious.
That sounds awesome!
Each guest discloses what they call the best thing they have ever put in their mouth. What's crazy about this show is sometimes that best thing is some of the most basic food you could eat. Each episode has a theme. It could be the best fried food, best bacon, best cheesy, best appetizers, or best in a bowl. Really, the possibilities are endless.
So many possibilities. My mind is racing.
This show has been on for 5 seasons. It has certainly opened up many minds to all the tasty food we're all missing out there. This show was supposed to be a one-time special, but when fans got wind of all the celebrity chefs spilling the secrets on the food they enjoy, fans demanded to see more.
Tell me everything!
Watching some of the world's favorite chefs talk about everything they love about a meal, a particular food group, or just a simple burger is really insightful. A show like this reinvigorates a love for food. The Best Thing I Ever Ate reminds us that there are things out there that home cooks and food lovers would never think to try or didn't even know existed. This is a show which inspires food creativity.
Last week you said your favorite show was Chopped. Because Chopped is amazing.
Chopped. The Food Network has had its fair share of chefs battling it out. Many of their shows are centered on promoting new chefs and helping other chefs gain notoriety. Plus, you usually win money, and who doesn't want money?
I do.
Chopped is no different. Chefs have the opportunity to battle it out using specific ingredients. Sounds easy, right? Well, it's not. The ingredients the chefs are told to use vary every episode and can be everything from milk in cereal, random chocolate curls, and dandelion greens. There have been some way more obscure ingredients that usually end up in something called the mystery basket.
Ooh, this is so mysterious.
This basket has a tendency to throw off a lot of the chefs. In some cases, a chef may never have even heard of the ingredient. If a chef who practices their craft every single day hasn't heard of some of these ingredients, you can bet most viewers haven't either. I mean, who knows what a Buddha's hand is?
Who's Buddha?
Geoduck, anyone? Rocky Mountain oysters, or better known as bull, pig, or sheep testicles? The list is endless, but the result is always super tasty. Chopped is all about making a meal with what you were given, and any chef will tell you that is the true test of how much a chef really loves food.
Hey everybody, I'm Guy Fieri and we're rolling out looking for America's greatest diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives. Yet another Guy Fieri show makes the list. As we mentioned, Guy is a Food Network staple. He always brings amazing energy to any show he participates in, and he is a likable guy. It's rare that someone comes off as so likable while still being able to navigate being a celebrity.
What can I say? The camera loves me.
Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives is a show that takes us around the United States and showcases some of the country's great items found on menus off the beaten path. Guy has tried some truly crazy foods while hosting this show. It ran for 31 seasons and aired 384 episodes. Holy moly! That's a lot of food to eat. Who wouldn't want to be the host of Triple D? Yeah, this show is so beloved that it has its own acronym. The style of the show is set up to look like a road trip.
Road trip!
Guy drives around in a super cool cherry red Chevy Camaro and makes what seems to be more than normal stops for a road trip. He just can't resist trying all the delicious food out there. This show was so popular and completely dedicated to making sure that Guy got to try as much food as he could. Trisha's Southern Kitchen.
Supper's ready! Come on, y'all! Been slaving over this for hours!
Trisha Yearwood went from being a successful country music singer to a TV chef. Trisha's show, aptly called Trisha's Southern Kitchen, gives us a glimpse into what hubby Garth Brooks gets to eat for dinner. It's always fascinating watching someone famous for doing one thing thrive in a completely different domain.
She has so many talents.
Trisha was always very vocal about the Southern meals she enjoyed growing up. So seeing her actually make a meal and watching her take that first bite and enjoy it is kind of like bliss for viewers.
This is amazing.
One of the best things about this show is how family-friendly it is. She often cooks meals for her nieces, nephews, and of course, sometimes her husband even makes an appearance on the show. Trisha looks so comfortable in the kitchen that it's almost hard to believe that she was a country singer first. She also always has at least one guest. And while they don't always include family, they tend to include friends who she treats just like family.
Ohana means family.
Those Southern dishes make fans want to jump through their TV screens. If only that was possible, we too would be enjoying pepper biscuits and gravy, candied lemon slices, Garth Brooks taco pizza, and fish fry hush puppies. Delicious. Kids Baking Championship. So far, there have been 8 seasons of Kids Baking Championship, and fans still don't think it's enough. Kids Baking Championship began in 2015, and the whole concept is right there in the title.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Except it doesn't mention how adorable these kids are. The premise for this show is a group of children ages 12 and under competing to make the best desserts possible. Every week, there is a new theme with new obstacles to overcome. Believe us when we say that this competition isn't any easier than on any other show just because the contestants are kids.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Some of these kids have created amazing desserts that judges have given high praise to. We'd say they taste delicious, but we unfortunately can't taste them for ourselves.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
So you may be wondering who is supervising these kids. The judges for this show are Duff Goldman and Valerie Bertinelli. Both of them treat the kids like they are their own. Sometimes they even give them a few pointers. Who would have thought that matching Duff with children would work out so great? We know that Valerie has that mom touch, but Duff is this big, burly guy who makes awesome cakes and has a heart of gold. Delicious Miss Brown. Delicious Miss Brown is one of those old-school cooking shows where you just watch a host cook a bunch of meals that have a connection to the host. Much like Trisha's Southern Kitchen, Delicious Miss Brown is full of warm, hearty meals, and every one of them has a story behind them. For host Cartier Brown, it's all about family and the meals that bring fond memories of her childhood.
Makes me feel all nostalgic.
Some of the meals she shares with the audience took her a long time to master. She takes pride and care in her cooking, wanting to pay homage to the person who taught her the recipe. Cartier tells us that her meals are based on heritage. She was raised on the Sea Islands of South Carolina, and she is of Gullah Geechee descent. This refers to a distinct group of African Americans who live in the coastal area of South Carolina. Not only is the Delicious Miss Brown trying to share her knowledge of food, but she is also trying to shine a light on her culture and all the wonderful things it has to offer. Who out there wouldn't want to try caramel apple cake or pepper jelly meatballs?
All you're doing right now is making me hungry.
What about traditional Gullah red rice and a warm asparagus salad? The food Cartier makes is just the icing on the cake. As frequent guests on the show, her family and friends offer a level of entertainment that most cooking shows don't offer. We can hear them laughing and talking in the background as Cartier gets busy in the kitchen.
Come on, go, cook, 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 cook.
Stick around, tap that screen for another great video, show us some love, and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.